Okay. Thanks.
So don't compare your experiences with mine. Just the only tool, the only thing that it is helpful for you comparing with mine is the inquiry. That's all. Self-awareness. That's all. I think I have to put you guys again back into. I know you are co-host of the strange. So the only thing that is important in this experience is to understand the most important part is there is God and there is the world. See, the world is the second person and God is the third person, and the first person is I. The second and the third person, the world and God, are experienced by I, depends upon the I. So first is I, then the world, and then an idea of a God somewhere. If the I disappear, the idea of world and God disappears too. And what remains is the self, which is the totality.
So you think everything comes from that inquiry, like here, nothing to do with my body, nothing to do with my energy, like I don't have to develop anything physically, like energetically, no any blocks or whatever they say. Because you said like it was spontaneously, you didn't do an inquiry, it just the grace came to you, like no.
The status is partial because of a lack of interest for the world.
Okay.
So that mind is pure, so to say.
And you do it.
And then it is easy to
Yeah. You said you were ripe, like like a ripe for that. Is it due to your past lives? I don't know. Due to what?
Past and present.
I just want to ask that question. If I am ripe, that's stupid. I want to ask that stupid question. If I am ripe enough.
It doesn't matter. You are
Doesn't matter.
You are not ripe. You will get ripe. You will grow.
One day.
It's not. There is no rush.
It's a road. One day.
Ego wants to accelerate the process. They want to go faster. Where? All these thoughts reinforces the ego.
Yeah.
A ripe ego is a weak ego, not a strong.
Yeah.
It's weak.
Yeah.
The ego wants to die, but the ego cannot kill itself. The ego has to keep quiet. And some power, so to speak, will pull it back into it. And the self which is beyond that power, that's the power of the self which is beyond that power, will reveal itself, it will reveal itself as yourself, not as another, but as what you really are.
And it's nothing to do with Kundalini, nothing.
Kundalini will arise, but without you having to rise it, without having to do any Kundalini yoga or anything. All
And
what
Kundalini yoga will not help.
No, it's dangerous, and it will strengthen you. So the Kundalini will arise as a byproduct of the inquiry without you doing anything. It will happen. All what the people want to attain by the means of effort happens spontaneously when the mind ceases the effort, when the mind is totally still. You don't want anything, including enlightenment. You don't even want the ego to disappear. See? The mind is in a desireless state. And not knowing anything, all the knowledge is gone also. You forget about the spiritual knowledge and the concept. You leave them behind. You must understand it first, certainly. But once they're understood, then you must go for the direct knowledge.
Thank you.
So everything amounts to keep quiet, be still, mentally still, not physically. We are not interested in the activities of the body. The body is completely under the control of the very power that materializes it. See, the body is not even self-aware. The body is like the wind. See, like the shining of the sun, the flowing of the river. It's a spontaneous movement of the undifferentiated energy within the self. There is nobody there doing anything or in control of anything or responsible for anything, right? This body has the same free will that the wind to blow to the east or to the south or to, I don't know, to blow 20 kilometers per hour or to turn into a tornado, right? You have the same free will that the river has to flow from the top of the mountain to the ocean. Means it has zero free will because it's not a separate, independent, autonomous individual self, right? It doesn't exist as a separate entity. In fact, everything is the self.
I only know that our mind can affect the body, and it starts the mind. Our mind can affect the body. You said the body goes whatever is according to nature, but when our mind is affect the body, it starts functioning differently.
Yes. Correct. So the activities of the body and the mind begin to happen spontaneously, means they are not conditioned by desires. There's no motivation, right? There's no intention. It happens spontaneously. Like the tree moves spontaneously because of the wind movement, right? That's
The mind, my mind disturbs that spontaneity. Our mind disturbs that spontaneity.
our tendencies, yes.
Basically, yeah.
Ideas, thoughts, beliefs, concepts, right?
They sort of try to navigate our body this way or that way, not natural way, and it's very often it's not natural way, so it's obstructing the body and upsetting the body.
Prejudices, basically, likes and dislikes. All this is memory, it's knowledge, the known. You can inquire, then surrender.
You can.
You cannot inquire, then surrender. Accept,
If I
accept,
cannot,
accept that there is a higher intelligence, if I can call it that way, that is taking care of everything, and you are not separate from it. Surrender the idea of separate existence.
it's sort of like thoughts, a thought will be.
If you surrender, you keep quiet, right?
For some time, yeah.
And if you inquire, you keep quiet.
And someone will press the button. I will open my phone and someone will press the button, and that's.
You have to keep on yourself. When you find yourself thinking that you are a separate, independent person, see that you are the body, and then you as the body has free will and are independent and all that stuff, all these hallucinations.
When I have this idea, am I kind of faking it a bit? Like when you are talking, I start feeling it.
Feeling what?
No, what you said, like I'm not separate. I start sort of merging in that. I'm not separate from the everything around.
That's an idea. It's a thought for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's the intellectual thing.
Intellectual, and I feel it as well. Experience, sort of.
I doubt it, but
When I talk to you,
you may think that you feel it, but this is an ego feeling.
Yeah, yes, some level only.
Because you know it, you don't feel it, you know it.
Yeah.
You don't know it, you know you are it. See, you don't feel it or know it, because the self is not it. It's not something that you feel or you know, it's what you are. So to know it is to be it. And for that, body identity must go. The ego must go. That's ego is I am the body, that thought. There's the ego feeling that is not the ego.
Not very optimistic.
Sorry?
Not very optimistic. Like again, I feel like, what should I do? That question. Again, like got a bit puzzled.
Yeah, the mind is confused. And the mind asks, what shall I do?
Yeah, I want to tell me.
That means that you haven't understood that you have to be still, which is the opposite of doing.
Yeah.
The mind is only still when it's not paying attention to any object.
The mind is still when he's not paying any attention to the object.
Mind becomes quiet when it's not interested in anything other than itself.
Mm. Interest. It's like you can't make it, that interest. Same like you can't make the love. You cannot love something or somebody if you don't have interest. Yeah.
It is your mind is going to make it complicated. It's like this, it's like that. No, keep it simple.
Can make that interest.
Huh? Interest means who is the thinker? I think about you, this, that, the world, God, spirituality, the knowledge, the Vedas, the consciousness. See, that is the thinker thinks about something, right?
Yes.
Then let the thinker pay attention to itself, not to what it's thinking. See, the attention thoughts to thinker.
Yes.
Don't get distracted by thoughts. See? Thinker is a thought, is the thought I. So fix your attention there.
Yeah, I can do that. But you said about the interest. You should have that. You said interest in that. Not all like interest. It's
Yes, because you maybe now and then be interested in something else.
yeah. So I have to, with my will, redirect that interest to the self.
You can say so. Not to the self. See, who is going to direct the attention to the self? The self is already self-aware. And the mind cannot be aware of the self. The mind cannot be aware of itself.
In the thought I self, that what I think I am. We'll do that.
What?
Practice.
Self-inquiry, I don't know how people call it practice, but the inquiry ceases the practices. Because the practicer becomes still. It's not practicing. It's not moving mentally.
What I think, like the practice is the repetitive, something that you repeat. And then that what you are talking, it's the result, the stillness.
You see, you come up with your own interpretation of what I say, and then you're gonna get confused, and you're gonna follow that.
Sorry.
That's okay. No need to feel sorry. I'm just pointing out something. That's all.
Yeah, sorry, I missed it.
I'm trying to clarify it for you to get out of confusion, and for you not to confuse yourself and follow your own confusion and get lost into your own confusion. I ignore the world. I ignore the body. Even if I perceive the world, even if I have physical sensations, whatever amazing it may be, thoughts, I ignore everything. To who is experiencing that? Who is aware of that? I. Then the attention goes to I. Forget about physical sensation, forget about sensory perception, forget about thoughts. To whom all this occur, to whom this is, the interest is in the whom, see, not in the what. Not in what the whom knows, but in the whom itself, see, which appears to be I. When the attention goes on this I, it becomes still, and still it cannot, it needs always an object to survive. It feeds on objects. See? That's the food for the mind, objects. And objects are no other than thoughts. That's all. It's very simple. It's a very simple and single advice. That's all.
I'll do that.
Because I didn't have any notions of spirituality as such and practices, and I was told this advice once and I went for it. I didn't argue back. I was told, do this, and I kept quiet and I went for it. That's all. It took me a few minutes to figure out. I was pondering. So he told me this, and then I was pondering, right? Okay. The object and the subject. The subject is I, the object is all this. And God also is an object. Obviously, the personal God I have it sitting in front of me is an object. It's as illusory as everything else. So the personal God or Guru is part of the illusion. God appears in the awakened state, disappears in deep sleep, together with the world and the knower of both of them. So the individual, the world, and God are an illusion. Now, God appears as an illusion to wake us up from the illusion. That's different. Right? He appears within the dream to wake you up from the dream. That's the whole point. For whom the world exists, for me. For whom God exists, for me. Good. Forget about the world, forget about God, and focus on this me, this I. And without the ideas of the world and God in general, the body is the world, right? Disappears.
Thank you. Gracias.
Intellectually or conceptually, we need to know very little.
Yeah.
And it needs to be explained in a very simple way. It is very simple. But then the mind comes and makes it twist everything.
Thank you.
The book that I gave you in English is very simple.
I start reading it. For some reason, they say something about the heart, feeling in the heart. It's in this book.
Sorry?
In that book, I start reading. They're telling something, feeling in the heart. That word they use.
Yeah, but it's not there's a way of
Okay. So I remember there was something about the heart. And I remember you never said about the heart anything.
the heart is another name for the self. But now you imagine a heart. See, you never said about the mind.
Feeling like
No, it's not. The heart is not a feeling. The heart is consciousness. Now, there is an energy there that it is felt. If it is felt, it is known. If it is known, see, there must be a knower, right? Are you following what I'm saying? It can be consciousness. This is relative consciousness. This is reflected consciousness. The created power, undifferentiated energy, Shakti, Kundalini, call it whatever you like, is the power of the self. If there is awareness of that, then awareness is not that, right? Awareness is awareness, or consciousness is consciousness. This is absolutely important to understand. If it is a feeling, it is a phenomenon.
it's connected to the body, feeling, and the mind.
Yes, correct, good.
In the body, it feels, and in the mind.
So the mind and the body are manifested by that energy, but that is the manifesting imaginary power of the self. See, the power that it uses to manifest things. See, images, mental and physical. See, perception, thoughts, and so on. In Hinduism, you have two entities, one female, one male. For example, you have Shiva and Shakti. So Shakti is responsible for the appearance of everything. Shiva is just there. Just being.
So Shiva is the energy and Shakti is the forms, manifestations.
Is the energy and the form. Shakti is
This,
mother, and the mother brings a child, but the mother cannot bring a child by itself. It has to be associated with the man. He cannot do it independently or separately. Yeah, in a relationship, the sexual relationship, the two bodies appear as one, right?
yeah.
So these symbolically represent this knowledge. These entities as such, if they existed or not, I don't care. As long as you've understood the meaning, it's fine.
It's sort of like our structure, the human structure.
So now you're going to, oh good Lord, you guys, too much imagination. You know what is a generator that produces electricity?
Yeah.
The self is the generator. The generator generates the energy, right? Well, the generator,
Real self.
yes,
You're talking about.
yes. So the generator is not energy. The energy comes out of the generator, and then the energy, the electricity, see, illumines,
Yeah.
and the bulb brings light into things, right? So the self is energy.
The real self is energy.
Beyond energy. The energy comes from the self. Energy is an illusory power. It's the power of the illusion, what manifests the illusion, what makes the illusion to appear. But do you feel any energy in deep sleep?
I don't know. I don't feel any. I can't remember at all.
I don't feel anything, but I is there.
I is there.
Yes or no?
I believe you.
In deep sleep, you are, don't you?
Yes.
And everything else is gone.
Yeah.
So in deep sleep, you know nothing, only yourself. It is not clear for you, that's all. So you don't know energy, you don't know mind, you don't know voice, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Aware of anything.
Just black.
So for you to say just black, there must be consciousness of blackness. So you have that consciousness right here, right now. The same consciousness, the same I in deep sleep is the same I in the awakened state, is the same I in the dream state, but it's different from the three. The three states.
Different.
The three states are mental states. Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. Somehow we understand that sleeps is not real, but we don't. I don't understand that this dream is not real. Only I will understand when I will wake up from this dream.
The three states are mental states. Awakened state, dream state, deep sleep state, they are mental state. And three modifications of the mind.
Yeah, sort of like from one to another. Yeah.
Exactly. So the awakened state and the dream state is called that energy is manifested as all this. In deep sleep, all this goes into, or it's not manifested, right?
Yeah.
So it's the mind that goes to manifest and unmanifest state. Consciousness is beyond manifest and unmanifest, obviously.
Yeah. That is, yeah, something is, I understand that.
That is I. You are, of
What is, yeah, that I, yeah, okay.
course, you are the one that knows the three states. I am conscious of the awakened state. I am conscious of the dream state. I am conscious of deep sleep. See? That's a real conscious existence. See? What exists in deep sleep is conscious, is consciousness. It's never unconscious.
The life is there.
Sorry?
The life is there.
If you want to call it life, it's okay. Call it whatever you like. As long as you understand, I'm happy.
But it cannot see anything because there is nothing to see. It's just itself, the consciousness itself.
Right.
And then we go into dreams, it's put a layer of the dreams. Then we wake up, put another layer of the waking up. So it's like layers.
The mind brings all this into existence. It's the mind that brings the world.
Yeah, I understand that. And we sort of have to peel those layers, like self-inquiry, peeling layers.
No. You don't have to peel any layers. Just remove the I.
The mind.
All the layers goes with it.
Self-inquiry.
Yes. The word self in the inquiry is the ego self.
Okay.
This I, let me see. Right? The attention falls on it.
Yeah.
When the attention falls on it, it cannot survive. See? Is it 10:20? Oh my God.
Yeah. It's time. Thank you, Cesar. Hasta mañana, yeah?
Hasta mañana.
Tomorrow.